This video is a basic overview of how to play Final Attack. It's not intended to be a full-on tutorial. Instead, it's more about giving even the most casual person an idea of how the game works as well as I can without monopolizing your attention span. Final Attack is a cross between cooperative games, real-time games, worker placement games, social games, and card games. It uses an audio track, which acts as both a timer and a thematic backdrop. The fancy computer voice will make announcements, which result in stuff happening either on the play area, or the battlefield, or to you, the pilots.
First stage.
The audio track is divided up into stage rounds and impact rounds. During a stage, new announcements happen, new cards are played, and resources are allocated. During an impact, everything on the board is resolved. Before we go too far into mission structure, let's look at some basic mechanics of how the game works. There are 3 basic resources in Final Attack. HP, which stands for Hull Potential, or hit points if you must. EN, which stands for Electricity Neuroid, or energy, I guess. And there's Will, which stands for Warp Factor Induction of Lomonosov Observable Willpower. Or just willpower, whatever. HP starts at 10, is shared among everybody, cannot be restored if you lose any, and if it gets to 0, you lose the game. This is your primary way of losing, so HP is very important. Energy starts at 10, is shared among everybody, will constantly be fluctuating up and down if you know what you're doing, and is used to activate system cards. Will starts at 3 per pilot, with each pilot having their own collection of will. Will is used to advance the game state in a few ways. Energy and will are represented by chips, physical chips that you'll pretty much always be moving around the battlefield. Hit points is a pile of tokens near the central board. Everybody has a hand of system cards and a drive key. Anytime during a stage round, you can put a system into play by putting it in front of you with your drive key on top. But you have to pay will to get your drive key back, and you can only do that during an impact round. Once on the table, systems are permanently in play. To use a system, take an energy chip and physically put it on top of the card. It's actually easier than it sounds. The most common announcement during a stage will be an incoming attack card.
1. Shooting. Attack. Inbound.
When the computer announces an attack, flip the appropriate card from the appropriate deck and leave it face up in the field. Once you hear a crashing sound, impact has happened. Pause the audio track and resolve every card on the table. Any system card with energy on it will activate. First, if the card has needs, spend as many element icons as indicated in the needs. If you can't or don't want to, the card gives you every icon in the fail quadrant. If you do it, the card gives you all the icons in the power quadrant. Icons in play stay in play until either spent on another card or impact ends. If a system has a boost quadrant, you can put extra energy on it to boost the card. The first energy chip will activate the power quadrant, and all the other chips will individually activate the boost quadrant as many times as there are chips on the card remaining. Note that you can't activate boost if you fail a system card. There will also be attack cards on the table at this point. To hold off an attack, spend the icon designated hold. If you don't or can't, the attack hits, and it provides the icons designated threat. If you hold off an attack, you can spend icons to get payback, which will net you will chips for doing so. Consider it a coup de grace on an incapacitated opponent. This is your main way of getting will, so take advantage of it. Once you've resolved all the cards, unpause the audio track and the next stage will begin. There's a little more to the game, but we can save that for later. Oh, right, how to win. Well, first, before you can win, you need to combine. To combine, you gotta do 2 things. First, Every pilot has to spend 5 of their own will. Then, you gotta shout the combination code phrase in unison.
Let's final combination!
If you mess up the shout, you don't spend any will, but you can't try to combine again until the next stage. Once you combine, your remaining will is pooled, you get limb system cards, which are all awesome, and you can win the game. If you're combined and you survive through to the end of the final stage and the final impact, the narrator will tell you the name of the final attack. It's different for each audio track, so listen closely. Then, you gotta shout it.
Final attack, Infinity Viper!
If you screw up the shout, you lose. Everything hinges on this moment. That's it. I mean, there's obviously more to the game, but really the game's not hard. It's just weird. There's nothing like it out there. Thanks for watching, and I really hope you back Final Attack. It's pretty much the best game ever, and I'm not just saying that.